Okay, so we are going to talk about the resting membrane potential. So on a graph, the cell is at rest when it's at -70, and the way we establish this is through many things. So one of the things is potassium leak channels, and then we have ion gradients, and then we have the sodium potassium pump, which looks like this. And so what this does is, this is how it looks in the cell. So potassium always wants to go out, but if there's less inside the cell, less will go out and it will depolarize the cell. And if there's more inside the cell than out, it's going to want to go out, and that will hyperpolarize it as it leaves it more negative. This one, so what it does, it brings 2 potassiums inside the cells and 3 sodiums out. So we're losing more positives than we are negatives, so that also hyperpolarizes it. And when I say hyperpolarize, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Well, I guess I could talk about it right now. So we have this thing here. Let me just write it again here. So let's say this is so right now we're here, right? Or actually no, we're here. Let's say, why doesn't it go away? Let's say we have a stimulus caused a graded potential, and then that graded potential reached threshold. Then it caused an action potential. And so this right here is called depolarization, and this is repolarization, and this is hyperpolarization. And so depolarization just means that the cell is becoming more positive. Repolarization is becoming negative, or it's going back to RMP. And hyperpolarization is becoming more negative inside. And so what's happening, the way we maintain these RMP is there's a lot of things. So here, sodium channels open, and then here, or actually, let me just double check I'm doing this right. Oh yeah, okay. So here they start opening, and then here let's see. Okay, they open, and then over here they start to close, and potassium voltage gated channels start to open. And then here, sodium channels are closed. Channels open, and potassium rushes out of the cell, meaning it becomes more negative, and that's why we're going down. That's rushing out of the cell, and then so that's why it's becoming more negative. And then here, potassium channels start to close, and then here potassium channels are closed. And that's just like a way of how RMP is affected. And so yeah. So when it comes to action potentials, it has to reach threshold. If not, it's like an all or nothing thing. So if it didn't reach threshold, an action potential will not occur. So there's that. Okay, so now let's talk about okay, so greater potentials depend on the stimulus. They're localized changes in and they do not travel long distances. And then action potentials are And so, yeah, that's the difference. It has to reach threshold for it to cause an action potential. This right here, this right here is an action potential. But as you can see, it had to reach threshold. But I'm like trying to point it. Anyways, so yeah, it must reach threshold to cause an action potential. So now let's talk about, let's talk about capacitance. So this is just ability for the membrane to store charge. And then length constant. It's how far a signal before decaying. So basically this is a neuron and how fast it can go. Oh, how far, sorry. And then it reduces myelin, which speeds up signal transmission, and it increases length constant, which means signals can travel faster. So, yeah. Let's see. The refractory period. That's just when action potential cannot happen. So it could never happens during depolarization and repolarization, but it can happen during hyperpolarization. So yeah, that was that.